Welcome to our channel. Today, we embark on a journey back in time, venturing tens of thousands of years into the past to explore the world of the Neanderthals. For decades, these ancient relatives of ours have been painted as crude, brutish figures, driven solely by the need to survive in a harsh and unforgiving world. But what if I told you that this perception is far from complete? Recent discoveries have begun to paint a very different picture of Neanderthals, revealing a species far more complex and nuanced than previously imagined. We're about to delve into the evidence that suggests Neanderthals weren't just surviving, they were creating. Join me as we explore the tantalizing possibility that these ancient humans possessed a sense of artistry and aesthetic appreciation, expressing themselves through cave paintings, jewelry, and even ritualistic burials. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of Neanderthals and their surprising aesthetic interests. Stay tuned to discover how these ancient humans were more than just primitive hunters. Deep within the earth, hidden away in the darkness of caves across Europe, lies evidence of a creative spirit stirring in our ancient cousins. In Spain, within the cave of Maltravieso, we find a series of hand stencils, their outlines traced in red ochre pigment, dating back an astonishing 64,000 years. These handprints, frozen in time, predate the arrival of modern humans in Europe, suggesting that Neanderthals were engaging in symbolic expression far earlier than we once thought. Even more striking are the discoveries made in three other Spanish caves, La Pasiega, Ardales, and Maltravieso. Here, on the walls we find a collection of paintings, not of animals or hunting scenes, but of abstract shapes and patterns, scallops, lines and dots, all meticulously created using red ochre and black pigments. These markings, some dating back over 65,000 years, challenge our very understanding of Neanderthal cognitive abilities. The deliberate selection of pigments, the careful application of paint to the cave walls, and the sheer age of these paintings all point towards a deep-seated human need to create, a need that transcends time and species. These weren't simply random markings left by chance. The placement of these paintings, often in the deepest, most inaccessible chambers of the caves, suggests a deliberate intentionality, perhaps even a ritualistic significance. Imagine, if you will, the flickering light of a fire illuminating these ancient artists as they worked, the air thick with the scent of ochre and charcoal, their hands moving with purpose and precision as they breathed life onto the cave walls. What stories did they hope to tell? What emotions did they seek to express? These questions linger in the silent chambers of these ancient caves, a testament to the enduring mystery and allure of our Neanderthal ancestors. Their art, like a whisper from the distant past, reminds us that the drive to create is woven into the very fabric of what it means to be human. The artistry of Neanderthals extended beyond the walls of their caves. Scattered across Neanderthal sites, we find intriguing evidence of a people who adorned themselves with more than just animal skins. Fragments of shells, carefully pierced and polished, tell a tale of craftsmanship and an eye for beauty. These weren't merely discarded remnants of meals. These shells were transformed, shaped into beads and pendants, perhaps strung together to form necklaces or bracelets. In a world often defined by its harsh realities, these objects speak of a desire for something more, a yearning for adornment and self-expression. And it wasn't just shells that captured their attention. The bones of animals, carefully carved and polished, were also fashioned into pendants and other forms of jewelry. Eagle talons, prized for their size and strength, were pierced, suggesting they were worn as ornaments, perhaps symbols of status or skill. The discovery of pigments like ochre and manganese dioxide at Neanderthal sites adds another layer of intrigue. These pigments, often found on shells and bones, weren't applied haphazardly. They were used to create patterns, to add a splash of color, to transform the mundane into something unique. This deliberate use of color hints at a deeper understanding of aesthetics, a desire to personalize and imbue their world with meaning. Imagine a Neanderthal, carefully selecting a smooth, iridescent shell, holding it up to the light, appreciating its beauty. Then, with steady hands, they would have pierced the shell, transforming it into a pendant, symbol of their own individual identity. These small, personal objects offer a glimpse into the minds of our Neanderthal relatives, revealing a capacity for creativity and symbolic thought that we are only beginning to fully appreciate. They challenge our preconceived notions and invite us to reconsider our place in the grand tapestry of human evolution. Were these early forms of fashion? Did they hold symbolic meaning? The answers, like the people who created them, remain shrouded in the mists of time. But one thing is certain, these objects speak to a side of Neanderthals that is often overlooked, a side that is both familiar and deeply human. The use of pigments by Neanderthals extended beyond the decoration of objects. It appears they also used these vibrant materials to paint their own bodies. Evidence from several Neanderthal sites points to the use of ochre, a naturally occurring pigment, as a form of body paint. Ochre, with its rich earthy tones ranging from yellow to deep red, could be ground into a fine powder and mixed with animal fat or other binders to create a paint that could be easily applied to the skin. The presence of ochre in burial sites, sometimes sprinkled over the bodies of the deceased, suggests that these pigments held a deeper significance than simple decoration. Could they have been used in rituals surrounding death and rebirth? Or perhaps they served as a form of social messaging, signifying clan affiliation or status within the group. Imagine a group of Neanderthals gathered around a fire, their faces and bodies adorned with intricate patterns of ochre. The flickering flames casting dancing shadows on the cave walls, their voices echoing in the darkness as they performed rituals passed down through generations. The use of body paint speaks to a complex social structure and a rich cultural tapestry that we are only just beginning to unravel. It suggests that Neanderthals were not solitary, isolated beings, but rather lived in communities bound together by shared beliefs, rituals, and traditions. These pigments applied to their bodies may have served as a powerful visual language, communicating their identity to the world around them. The act of painting one's body, of transforming oneself with color and pattern, is a deeply personal and symbolic act. It transcends the boundaries of language, allowing for the expression of ideas, beliefs, and emotions in a visceral and immediate way. As we continue to delve into the world of Neanderthals, we are constantly challenged to reconsider our understanding of their capabilities and complexities. Their use of body paint offers a tantalizing glimpse into a world rich in symbolism and ritual, a world where art and culture were not mere luxuries but essential elements of their existence. In the silent embrace of the earth, we find some of the most poignant evidence of Neanderthal thought and belief, their burial practices. Across Europe and the Middle East, archaeologists have unearthed Neanderthal burials that paint a picture of a people grappling with concepts of life, death, and perhaps even the possibility of an afterlife. These weren't haphazard disposals of the deceased. In many instances, Neanderthals carefully arranged the bodies of their loved ones in shallow pits, often in a flexed position as if sleeping. The presence of grave goods buried alongside the deceased further deepens the mystery surrounding these ancient rituals. Tools, animal bones, and even flowers have been found in Neanderthal graves, suggesting that these objects held a symbolic significance, perhaps meant to accompany the deceased on their journey to the afterlife. In the Shanidar cave in Iraq, archaeologists unearthed the remains of a Neanderthal buried on a bed of wildflowers. Pollen analysis revealed that these flowers were likely brought to the grave intentionally, a touching testament to the depth of feeling and compassion these ancient humans possessed. These acts of ritualistic burial, of surrounding the dead with objects of meaning, suggest that Neanderthals possessed a complex understanding of death. They were not merely reacting to the physical loss of a member of their group. They were engaging in symbolic acts that transcended the earthly realm. Were these acts driven by grief, by a desire to honor the dead, or by a belief in a world beyond our own? The answers to these questions remain elusive, but the very existence of these burials speaks volumes about the capacity for abstract thought and emotional depth possessed by our Neanderthal ancestors. They challenge us to look beyond the superficial and to recognize the shared humanity that binds us across millennia. Each carefully arranged burial, each object placed with care alongside the deceased, whispers of a people who pondered the mysteries of life and death, just as we do today. They remind us that the search for meaning, for connection, for something beyond ourselves, is an enduring human quest, one that echoes through the corridors of time. From the depths of painted caves to the silent eloquence of their burials, the evidence speaks clearly. Neanderthals were far more than the simple brutes they were once perceived to be. Their artistry, their adornments, and their rituals reveal a people of surprising complexity, a people who possessed a deep connection to the world around them, and who grappled with many of the same questions that we still face today. These discoveries blur the line between Neanderthals and early modern humans. They were more than just survivalists, they had creativity, culture, and a sense of beauty. Could Neanderthals have had early forms of art, storytelling, or music? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating insights into our ancient past.